Alright, what is up, XDL? It is your spreadsheet specialist. It is your vice commish. It is the owner of the Brooklyn Blue Jackets. Um, and just wanted to update you on some of the projections. And we're far enough into the season. We've got a pretty good idea as to who's buying, who's selling, um, and we're also far enough to know who's getting extremely lucky. I've done this before in other leagues that I've been a part of. This may be the first time that Donnie and Matt have seen something like this. Pretty sure everyone else is familiar with this kind of idea. But what I've done here is I'm comparing your actual winning percentage. We've played 5 games, so everyone is nice even decimals here. And I've also calculated what I call your all-play percentage. If you were to play every team every week, what would your record be? And now your all-play percentage is probably a better indication of how good your team is overall than your actual record because it takes out any luck factor as far as scheduling is concerned. So the larger the arrows, or the line attached to the arrows, I guess, the more lucky or the more unlucky your team has been. If your arrow is pointing upwards, you have a better actual record than what your all play should suggest. If your arrow points downwards, you have a worse record than what your all play would suggest. Um, Now, this is why I'm still considering potentially selling because I'm super lucky right now to be 4-1. So I'm tied for first place, not only in my division but for first place overall. I'm a crap load of points behind Strong Badia and Winnipeg, and actually I'm a crap load of points behind San Antonio, Hickory, Atlanta, and Bahamas. But I was able to eke one out against Atlanta a couple weeks ago. I was able to eke one out last night against Boston, a game that I called the lock of the week, and I did win, and that's the only important thing. But what else we can see on this graph is down here, we see how many points that you have. And now, if you kind of eyeball it, the butt end of all the arrows, they kind of follow a very strong pattern. That's because your all-play percentage correlates very strongly with how many points you score. If you score a lot of points, your all-play percentage should be very good. In fact, San Antonio, their all-play percentage equals their actual percentage. So we don't even see a line. We just see the arrowhead right here. And for a lot of teams, Sacramento, Maine, Boston, Bahamas, San Antonio, those guys are who we thought they were. They're really close to what we would expect them to be. Winnipeg and Strong Badia have overperformed just a little bit, but not alarmingly so. Hickory and Atlanta have both underperformed. Their record should be better than what it is. They've just gotten really unlucky with the scheduling. I meant to check this beforehand, but I'm pretty sure that Atlanta would have beaten me every week except for the week that he played me. And I think that this is pretty much a coincidence. Oh, well, his all-play record is, oh shoot, well, his percentage is .578. He has the exact opposite as me in both the actual and the all-play. I think I'm like 19 and 28 or something like that, 19 and 26, and he's 26 and 19. So those are flipped. Our actual records are flipped as well. He should be the one that could be expected to be 4-1. I should probably be closer to 1-4, but I've gotten lucky so far. Hopefully, my luck continues. We can kind of see what's happened so far with some of the graphs. So for the power rankings, this is going to be a common theme. The Boston and the Sacramento lines kind of look like a slide because where they were projected at the beginning, they suck as of now compared to what they started the season out at. The biggest climbers for the season are going to be your San Antonios, your Strong Badias, and your Bahamas. Bahamas started off as objectively the worst team in the league. They are now 3-2, and they continue to climb their way up the power rankings. If we look over at the last place probability, basically there are 4 teams that are the favorites to make the playoffs, so the remaining 6 teams have the better chances at finishing in last, but there are 4 teams that have really separated themselves, that being Maine, which after a 1-week absence is back with the best chances of finishing last. Maine, Boston, Sacramento, and the aforementioned Atlanta. Even though Atlanta has scored a lot of points, they are 1-4, and they've got a decent chance at finishing last because of the schedule. The max point probability, we've got a rookie up here, and actually the rookies hold 2 of the top 3 spots. It is hard to tell the difference between Strong Badia and San Antonio, but Strong Badia is this one. It's a little bit lighter than the San Antonio one. Some of you guys just need to change your colors. There's a lot of available colors. A lot of people wanted yellows and blues, so I couldn't really use either one for San Antonio. But Winnipeg, right around a 50% chance. They are the best team thus far. They've got some good projections going forward as well. They did pick up DeAndre Hopkins, which should help him out going in through the rest of the season as well. Championship probabilities, it's basically a 4-man race here, just like we have for last place with Bahamas and Hickory kind of wallowing in the middle. Again, we see Winnipeg as the clear-cut favorite right now, followed by Strong Badia. Brooklyn, because I'm 4-1 somehow, some way. That's really the only thing that matters. And you'll notice that even though I won this week, my championship odds did not change at all. And in fact, if we go back to the power rankings, I won this week, but my power rankings went down because I did so in such what's the word that I'm looking for? I still wasn't very good. I got lucky this week because I played a crappy opponent. And then we see the playoff probability. In order to win the championship, first you have to get to the playoffs. So not surprisingly, the top 4 teams are the same as the top 4 teams for the championship probability. We do see Bahamas up here. They are actually tied right now for the 4th playoff spot with San Antonio. San Antonio has a little bit better team going forward, but Bahamas has the horses at running back with David Johnson and Le'Veon Bell coming back from suspension. Probably the best 2 running backs in the league. Ezekiel is up there as well, but I would probably put David Johnson and Le'Veon Bell 1-2. I'm finally starting to come around a little bit on David Johnson. I was not a believer coming into the season, but he continues to prove me wrong. Winnipeg and Strong Badia did take a little bit of a dip this week with their losses, but still very good bets to make the playoffs. Brooklyn 4-1, up over 70% as well. So that's the current situation of the league. I still think that I'm looking more towards the future. Personally, A-Rob could be had, and Julio could be had. A-Rob could be had a little bit easier, looking for some nice contracts going forward, more so than players that are going to help me a whole lot this year. If my wide receivers come to play, I can still make a run this year. If I choose the right running backs, which for the past couple weeks I have not chosen the right running backs. If I chose the right running backs, I beat Durs by 20. So that is all. I will catch you guys later. Peace.